Europe, once the epicenter of global power. But who truly leads this continent today? The question is simple, the answer complex: France and Germany. Do these two nations still rule Europe? Or is this notion beginning to fade? Every major decision of the European Union, be it economic policy or geopolitical stance, has its roots in Paris and Berlin. Their mutual understanding is often called the engine of Europe. But how is this inseparable partnership forged after centuries of deep-seated animosity? The history between these two nations was soaked in blood. For centuries, they were hereditary enemies. The two world wars themselves seemed to stem from their intense rivalry. But after 1945, leaders realized European peace depended on the friendship between these two states. In 1950, through the efforts of French Foreign Minister Robert Schuman, the historic Schuman Declaration was born. The plan to place coal and steel production under a common authority was the first step toward European unity. This was followed by the Élysée Treaty in 1963, which formally transformed this centuries-old enmity into a bond of friendship. The primary reason for their influence is a perfect balance of power. Germany is Europe's economic powerhouse. As the Eurozone's largest economy, Germany is the main foundation for European trade, industry, and financial stability. On the other hand, France is Europe's primary political and military force. France holds a permanent seat on the UN Security Council and possesses its own nuclear arsenal. France leads in military strategy and the formulation of broader European policy. The leaders of these two nations establish a pre-understanding through bilateral discussions before almost every EU meeting. This is known as the Franco-German reflex. When Paris and Berlin agree, decision-making in Brussels becomes much simpler. Other smaller nations generally find it comfortable to follow the path set by these two major powers. The greatest achievements of European integration came through this partnership. For example, the creation of the Schengen area by removing internal borders, and the introduction of the euro as the single currency. Germany's economic stability and France's political leverage both have propelled Europe forward. This Franco-German partnership builds a bridge between Northern and Southern Europe. France tends to represent the economic concerns of Southern Europe, while Germany emphasizes Northern European financial discipline. Their compromise sets the course for the entire continent. However, the idea of this rule is now facing major cracks. Recently, both France and Germany have been going through internal political and economic instability. The war in Ukraine and the energy crisis have brought their old disagreements back to the forefront. Distrust between the two countries is growing in the realm of defense. Germany is moving ahead with projects like the European Sky Shield and the purchase of US-made F-35 jets without France, which is seen as undermining French military interests. Due to these internal stresses, other EU member states, particularly Poland, Italy, and Spain, are becoming increasingly important. If the joint leadership of France and Germany weakens, the European agenda could stagnate. Thus, while France and Germany remain Europe's most influential powers, their exclusive rule is weakening. In today's Europe, leadership is no longer confined solely to the negotiating table in Paris and Berlin, but is becoming far more distributed. Europe's stability and future will depend on their continued commitment to unity. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments.